Hey adventurers, today is a kind of fun video for us.
Today we're going to be talking about 5 of our favorite fantasy creatures. 5 each, so 10 total.
This excludes different mythological races like elves or whatever. So there will end up being 3 videos in this series. There's favorite fantasy creatures, favorite fantasy races, and then favorite both but neither, which is kind of those creatures that could either fit into either one but also don't fit into either one at the same time. I'm thinking specifically about dragons for this, for that other list, but there's a couple other ones that we think might surprise you. The first one I have on my list is a griffin. For some reason, griffins have always been fascinating to me. They've been beautiful creatures that I don't know, I really love. If you don't know what a griffin is, it is a mythical creature that's a composite of a lion's body and a bird's head. Sometimes they have wings, sometimes they don't, but it's a lion, the body of a lion with the head of a bird. I don't know why these are so cool to me, but I just really love them.
What stories have you seen them portrayed in that you like a lot?
I don't actually know. I think there's some in Percy Jackson, but I'm not sure about that. I know there's in Merlin, the TV show Merlin, there's a griffin, and I've just always known about these creatures, and they've just always
They're also in Harry Potter.
No, those are hippogriffs in Harry
There's
Potter.
the ones that attack Drake.
That's a hippogriff.
Oh.
It's
literally the same creature.
Not quite.
Oh, lion.
But it's very similar.
Lion's body, yeah, okay.
Cool.
So my first creature is a niffler, and if you know what a niffler is, you'll probably get exactly why I love it. They appear to be very cute creatures. They have a long coat, or a long snout rather, and a coat of fur, and they're attracted to shiny things, which causes a lot of trouble when you're trying to make them behave, but they can also be helpful for thieving and stealing. So, yeah, I've seen nifflers in the Harry Potter. I'm not sure if they're like only in Harry Potter or if it's a creature that's known from like a mythological creature.
I don't know the answer to that. I haven't actually looked that up.
Me either.
Probably have done that before we started this video.
But nifflers is the first creature on my list.
The next creature on my list, and this is kind of an interesting one. I feel like he gets forgotten quite a bit. That is Yeti. So a Yeti is also known as an abominable snowman to many people. I'm not so sure about that. But so a Yeti is a giant, white, hairy, bipedal creature that is...
Do you even know what that means?
Yeah. It
Okay.
means it walks on 2 legs.
Oh.
These are said to live in the mountains of Asia and make giant footprints in the snow.
It's like the snow version of Bigfoot.
Yeah, kind of. I think the reason why I like these so much is because they're snow creatures, and there's not enough of those in fantasy. So yeah.
So the next fantasy creature I have on my list is the Kabelushka, and this is a water horse. It's seen in Maggie Stiefvater's The Scorpio Races. They are vicious water horses. They run at breakneck speeds, and I don't know, think of it as like a man-eating horse, flesh-eating horse. So pretty intense creatures, and they're very interesting.
So I've got a fairly wide range. So we've now seen a creature of the air and a creature of the snow. The next one is a creature of the water, and that's the kraken. I considered replacing it with sea serpent on this list because they're both so cool, but I went with the kraken. So a kraken is a legendary cephalopod is what our notes say, but that basically it's a legendary octopus squid type creature. They're of gigantic size, and they are kind of known for eating ships whole, and nobody sees them again. So there's just something fantastic about the kraken. That's the size and the difference. It's so different from any other creature, but yet it's based on a real creature. So I don't know, it's just really interesting.
So the next creature I have on my list is a thestral, which is a horse type creature it's black and leathery, has a leathery hide and wings, and it has white eyes. And these are seen, I know them from the Harry Potter series. I have a lot of Harry Potter creatures. I'm sorry, guys. My fantasy could use some expanding. But I really liked them. And in the Harry Potter world, they are invisible to students or to anyone who has not seen someone die, which is another really interesting aspect to them.
Yeah.
They're completely invisible to people who haven't seen anyone die, and you can see them when you've seen someone die because they're creatures of death.
Yeah. My next is another, I guess you could say it's a water creature, but it's also kind of a land creature, and it's a chasm fiend. These are from the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. And I'm not entirely sure why I like these. I think probably because of the drawings that are made by Shalon in the book. But they're very interesting. They're a giant crab-like creature, so they're crustacean. And they're massive, and they have a heart known as a gem heart, which is a giant jewel, basically. And they're just really interesting and really cool. And so that whole series, all the creatures in it are based off of crustaceans in some way or another. And that's just really random and wild, but very cool to me that he found a way to go so completely different from any other fantasy series that I've ever read. But the creatures are still so fantastic and still feel so magical in many ways.
The next creature on my list is a phoenix, and I'm sure you've all heard of a phoenix. Almost everyone's heard of a phoenix, and they're also known as a firebird.
Yep.
And they're psychically regenerating birds. And what I mean by that is that they're born again in a sense. So they're associated with fire. They usually burn up and then they die at that point. And then the next phoenix, or the same phoenix, it's weird, rises from the ashes, and that's what it's known as. They're typically red birds, and they've got a long tail and wings.
Yeah. In my fantasy world, phoenix are going to be slightly different, and I'm excited to create them in this new way. So my next and final creature for this top 5 list, of course, this is my top 5 and Kate's top 5 for a total of top 10. Or a total of 10. But my next creature is a Banshee. And this one we kind of went back and forth on whether it fits into this creatures or if it should belong in that both but neither list. And I decided that I want to put it on this list. Mostly because Banshees don't usually have a society that they're part of.
My argument is that they take a physical form, more man-like form, which is where human-like form, which is where we've come up with the issue regarding other creatures. Yeah. So,
anyways, it's an interesting conversation, and one we may do a video on.
Yeah, let us know what you would consider, if you would consider it a creatures or a species or a race.
So, anyways, a Banshee is usually a female spirit who is known for its wailing, and that wailing usually warns of impending death or something dangerous in a house. And I don't know, there's just something, they're creepy and they're weird and I don't like them, but yet I really do.
The cry of a banshee.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
My next fantastical creature is a bowtruckle. This is another creature I've seen in Harry Potter, and I was laughing when I looked up a definition of what this was to give me an outline of how to explain it to you guys. I actually thought Wikipedia had pulled up a page on actual bowtruckles, and I was like, they're real? I had like this minute where I was like, oh wait. Bowtruckles are tree-dwelling creatures. They usually resemble like a stick, leafy stick, green stick type of thing. It appears to be made of bark, and it's hard to distinguish, and it can hide, disguise itself in wood. They're seen in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Harry Potter world, as kind of sweet little creatures, very loyal creatures. Some of them, because that was a specific one, I guess. They have personalities, I guess.
Yeah.
They have personalities, and they also are very excellent at picking locks.
Yeah. And they are in the Harry Potter books too, just not in the movies.
Oh, that's right.
Anyways, so that's our list of our favorite, or at least our top 5 favorite fantasy creatures. Let us know, do you like any of these creatures? Do you have any creatures that you like instead of these? There's so many of them, and I'm absolutely positive that we forgot some of our favorites. But there's just something about each of these 10, I guess, that we found really interesting. And
yeah.
I think it's a good list. Maybe not perfect, but I think it's a good list. We post videos every
Monday
and Thursday. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and commenting down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay warm.